Hello guys, it's nice to meet you. Thank you all for coming in this beautiful weather today. So yeah, just quick raise of hand. How many people here are in tech? Sorry. How many people are in tech? In IT, developers, so on. Okay. All right. So for the other one, I might be out of subject for you because that's my cup of tea. So breaking into Korea's IT market. So first off, I'm Florian. I'm a software engineer by trade. So writing code is what I do and what I like to do. I'm also a three-time founder. So building company is also something that I really like to do. And I'm French. I spent 6 years in Japan before coming to South Korea 2 years and a half ago. Um, so I'm the co-founder and CEO of Dev Korea. If you haven't heard of, we are the #1 job platform helping companies in Korea to match with English-speaking tech talent. And I'm also the main organizer at the Seoul iOS Meetup, which is the largest community related to Apple related dev that will open new community very soon to tackle everything, because a lot of the folks that are in the IT field in Korea, they feel a bit left alone. So we will do that. So before starting, the people who know me, I know a couple of people here. I am someone who is very straightforward. I have very strong opinion. So everything I will say today is from my own experience. I'm very open to everyone's opinion. So if we are an opinion that is different than mine, no problem. We can discuss it about that. But and we can discuss about the. I don't think there will be a Q&A, but networking and so on. And I try as much as possible to never say it depends, because I don't think you want to hear it depends today. You want to like concrete answers. So I'm usually that guy, and I usually tend to swear a lot. I know we are recorded, so I will try not to do that. So first, the market reality check abroad and in Korea, practical insight and tips to your action plan and key takeaways. So first off, the market is not doing well globally. Like it has never been that bad. Let's be honest. A lot of layoffs around the world, big companies, small companies. Also, like a lot of hiring freezes. Like companies these days don't hire as they used to. And also it's very hard these days for junior position. I will talk a bit more about that. And there were this article like kind of a month ago that says, for a lot of people, they might still think that, if you want to get a job, the kind of happy path is to go to engineering. That's not the case anymore. Like engineering, college major in computing science, they are like one of the highest unemployment rate these days. So, for many people, I think there were these articles saying that the people that were doing like liberal art or all these kind of degrees had more chance to find a job than software engineers. So we really saw a very big shift on that. But to me in Korea, with the experience running Dev Korea and seeing the jobs, talking to CEOs, recruiters, and so on, I've seen that the market is more resilient in Korea than it is abroad, in my opinion. Companies are still hiring, but selectively, and they focus more on senior talent. So again, something that is common with the global market is it becomes like harder for juniors, even though it doesn't mean that it's not impossible, and we will see why. And the AI requirement, the AI skill are increasingly required. So we will talk about that you can't choose, or maybe I have to dig into AI or not. You have to, or you will become obsolete, and it will be very hard for you to find a job in the future, in my opinion. Again, and I will not repeat in my opinion, because I think for now you know that it's in my opinion. And with all the companies I talk to, we see like a very big shift these days, where back in the day, it was more like, let's say, teams of 100 people, but now it has more focused on teams of 20 plus AI. And a lot of people, and maybe it will be in the panel discussion as well, people might say, oh, is it because of AI? Is it AI that is taking our job? And my answer is no. The problem happened like before COVID, during COVID, when companies were hiring a lot of people and way too much people. And in Korea as well, and in globally, big companies were hiring people not to work on a product, but just so other companies cannot hire these people. That was the mentality. In Korea as well, very big companies, let's say Kakao was hiring a lot of engineers not to work on their product, just so Naver couldn't hire these people. That was the mentality for a little bit pre-COVID, after COVID, and not just in Korea. But then when COVID was done and the economy started to go downwards, then they had to look into their books where the money was going, and then they saw like, I bet you guys saw the videos of a lot of PMs that were showing what they do for their day. Waking up at 10 a.m., then going to the office, having breakfast at 11, working from 11 to 11:15, then getting lunch. That type of videos. I've seen it. Maybe you've seen it. And there were a lot of these positions, like ghost position, people that were paid a lot of money doing nothing. And then, when the economy was very down and people had to find how can we, not bleed like that. And then that's where the mass layoff came from. And then again, AI came and these companies saw, but wait, instead of hiring 100 people, we can just have like 20 plus AI and then, do the same work. Practical insight and tips. So I think this is, again, in my opinion, I will not repeat again, but do you need Korean to find a job in Korea in tech? For me, no. And this is debatable. Some people might say yes, but I guarantee, for me, no. Focus on your skills, way more important than the language. So I think you might be happy with my answer. I think you believe me on that one. When companies hire foreigners, what they want is technical excellence, unique perspective, and international experience more than do you speak Korean or not. If they wanted someone who speaks Korean, they would hire a Korean. So yeah, that's my catch. And you better spend your time mastering your craft, again, very important, building a portfolio and learning AI tools. And something that most people might not think right now, but I think is also very important, is you have to think globally. Meaning that your guys are in Korea, I'm in Korea, I love Korea, it's a beautiful country, but life is long and you never know what will happen. I think most of you guys, you want to stay in Korea, but you never know, something might happen. And in my opinion, you want to invest in a skill that travels with you, which means your skill in tech will work the same if you are in Korea or wherever in the world, where your current skill might be just limited to Korea or kind of. With our insight at Dev Korea, I can name 3 the hottest languages and roles that I feel works right now. So JavaScript, a lot of companies, they want full stack engineers, mostly with the JavaScript stack. So something that that is always useful to have under your belt. Python, again, a lot of AI, machine learning explosion. A lot of these companies, they want Python developers. And C++, there is a lot of hardware companies in South Korea, semiconductors and so on. And gaming also is strong in Korea, so C++. C++ is hard if you guys are in the tech, but it has always been like a valuable language to know. Basically, if you know C, C++, you can do everything. Everything is child play. And yeah, embrace AI or become obsolete. Again, my opinion. I will try to not repeat again. But yeah, it's becoming the new reality. Without AI, you're just a one-time developer, or I would say even a one-time, whatever it is, a one-time worker. But with AI, with all the tools that we have these days, you can become a 10-time developer. And this is very, very attractive for companies, especially startups. And I listed a bit of essential tools that you guys might and should use, at least some of them, for problem solving. ChatGPT or Claude, for AI agent, Copilot, Claude Code, AI first IDs, Cursor, Windsurf, and for rapid prototyping, V0 Bolt. If you don't know any of these tools, definitely recommend to check them out and to actually get your way around these tools, because in my opinion, in a lot of job postings in the future, this will be required. This will be in the job description. We are looking for someone, of course, that is skilled, but can also leverage the tools to, be more productive, has a better output. And we see this in, companies already. I posted here, the title was "Oh Zapier, Measure AI Fluency When Hiring." So that was posted by the co-founder and CEO of Zapier. That was saying that every time they hire someone, and not even in engineering, they have a grade for product support, people, and marketing. So every time they hire someone, they have this grid and they rank, can that person leverage AI in their position? If yes, and depending on how they can leverage it. But you can see that there is this column here, which is unacceptable, which is not good. And I feel portfolio is very important, and I always feel that people might, especially junior, I would not say, they got it wrong. So what doesn't work? To-do apps, don't do that. Airbnb clones, don't do that. Tutorial project, don't do that. GitHub graveyards, don't do that. GitHub graveyards mean you have a bunch of projects, they have 1 or 2 commits, and then they are gone. And the reason why I don't do that is because everyone do that, so don't do that. And the reason why is the portfolio should be, you should use your portfolio as storytelling. When you interview with some people, when you make a resume, it should be about storytelling. It should tell a story, and this doesn't. Why did you do this project? Yeah, there's no storytelling. What you should do instead is have one project. There is this one project rule, so build one product that has actual users. Doesn't have to be like very successful, but at least maybe 5 users. So something real. Live in production, so something that is not just dying on GitHub. And if possible, have a bit of revenue. Maybe I'm not asking you to be a millionaire, but $5 every month, or maybe $1. It doesn't actually matter. But with this, you can build a story. Someone like me might be very interested, like, oh, I want to see that person again. Tell me more about that, because with this you can. Oh, I'm usually doing this. I usually do running a lot, and people. I know this problem with people that are running. So I built this tool, and there is 5 people that are using it, and one person is paying this amount of money, and this person contacted me. She has some feedback, so there is a story you can build with that, and this is very interesting. And remember, recruiters or me at Dev Korea, we usually spend around 10 seconds per resume, and we see hundreds of them. In my position, thousands of them. So you want to be the one that we remember at dinner. Like when I see my wife at dinner, I was like, oh, I saw this resume. It was actually good. This is the impression you want to give to recruiters. And very quickly here, actually, how job actually get filled. So when you get a job, where does it usually come from? 10% is job board. And it is very interesting because I have a job board, so I shoot myself on the foot right there, but I don't care because it's the truth. So 10% of people get job on a job board. 20% recruiters, so someone going to your DM or scouting you. and 70% is network referral. Which means if you want to skip the line, you have to attend tech or networking event, meet people. This is something that works very well, but not a lot of people do. If you are targeting a specific company, DM employees, connect with them on LinkedIn and say, I want to work at this company. Do you have any feedback and so on? And try to build that relationship with them. Speak at event, something that a lot of juniors, they don't want to do because they feel scared, because they think, I need to be an expert to speak at an event, which is not the case. I have a community, I accept a lot of different speakers, and we don't want to hear every talk about some very high level things. We want to see stories about how you got into tech, stories about a lot of different things, and you can do that. And coffee chats are way better than applications, than online applications. So try to DM people, try to talk to people, try to arrange coffee chat. It's very popular in Korea as well. So try to talk to people, build this relationship, because this doesn't come, which I just DM and it's done. It takes time, so better start now. And yeah, the truth is warm intros always beat perfect resumes. So I recommend everyone to take this picture here, which I prepare some kind of 60 days. I want you to. So in the next 60 days, I want you master at least one AI coding tool. Build and launch your one project. Get your first 10 users. Attend 3 tech networking events, and get 5 coffee tea chat. So /T because I don't need coffee to be high up. It's by design. So I usually go tea, and if you go too many, coffee chat, I think it's not good. So I usually move to tea. Yeah, it's better. 5 tea per day is not bad. So yeah, I advise you to start with this, and if you finish, if you check all the boxes, send me a DM and let's talk. And key takeaways. So once again, skills. This is the last time of today. In my opinion, skills way better than current. Focus on becoming exceptional at your craft. And if you are exceptional at your craft and you don't speak Korean, I think it doesn't matter. People will want you to work for them. And one great project is way better than many average one. Build something real people want. Again, for the storytelling, you have to know how to sell yourself. That's one of the biggest problem. Is you might be very good at tech. If you cannot sell yourself, if you cannot in front of someone say what you're doing, how great you are, it's not gonna work. And networking beats online applications. 70% of jobs come through connections. And thank you so much. And let's see you at the panel and afterwards. Any question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you talk about the GitHub page, what happens, for example, for people that work for private companies and they cannot show what they have done on those windows?
I see that a lot. And one of the problems is when I go to GitHub, when people send me, either on the resume or by DM their GitHub, I see not a lot of connections. So I'm always asking, don't you have any, aren't you working on anything? And they always say, I work on some project, but they are private. And there is one thing that most people don't know is even though your GitHub project is private, there is a setting on your profile that you can toggle that the commits still appear there.
Yes.
So even though everything is private, it will still show on the GitHub graph.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's not what I mean.
Okay, what do you mean?
For example, I used to work at Disney for 2 years.
Yeah.
Of course, everything that I did was on the repositories. I don't have access to it. I have signed the
NDA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I cannot show.
Yeah.
But I have the experience.
Yeah.
So how can I prove that? Okay,
Well,
I work and.
Well, then you cannot show the code, but usually as a recruiter, what we want to see in the resume is, again, the story and the numbers. So you build on this feature, then is there any key metrics that on your resume you can showcase? I know the easiest way is so a story that I know is someone was working for
Mushinsa. So if you know Mushinsa, it's like the e-commerce for clothes. And that person was a DevOps, and he was the one responsible of. There are like a couple of days in Korea where everyone buys, like I don't know, let's say 1st of July, everyone buys. So most of the time, when your website will crash, it will be on that day because so many people are using it, and that person was responsible of, you know, they have their servers and they need more capacity on specific days. That person was making sure that um, during these days, the number of server increase, so the capacity they can allow a lot of people to use it, and then when the day pass, they can reduce the number of servers so they just don't waste money. And that person was on his resume, was saying like, you know, I was scaling this and that, so he could put a number of metrics like I'm saving that amount of money, and because of me making increasing the number of server or clusters and so on, we are generating X number of money, because he can handle the traffic. So then this becomes very attractive to, let's say, another e-commerce company, because they will have the same problem, that they say, okay, if you want to get that problem solved, I need to hire that guy because you know how to do it. And I can, let's say that person, it's even easier if these company know how much money they might have lost because they couldn't handle the traffic. So then in the negotiation, you can say, oh, I want to be paid $400,000. I'm the CEO. I can do the math behind. Like, if we have that guy, we will technically make $1 million, and me paying 400,000 is actually cheap. So the and it's also very hard to do. But try to find the matrix. Try to find numbers. Okay, you did a lot of great project, but how can you illustrate that? And I know it's very hard if it's private. You cannot show the code. You cannot, but try to showcase matrix numbers. Thanks to my work on this, I reduced the bug by before it was 60% of bug, now it's 90%. So me and other people at CEO, we can calculate how much money we were losing because of bug. If I hire you and you can, increase our availability, then I can say, oh, we are saving that amount of money. But that's not an easy task.
I have a question. So for tech positions here in Korea, do they have like coding exams as well as part of their
So, like, if you're asking for real Korean, uh, like 100% Korean companies, then yes. And sometimes it's funny because sometimes you are in the room with multiple engineers at the same time, which I've never seen before, to be honest. Like, you do the coding interview, but there is like 4 or 5 other people doing the same, which is like, why? But yeah, I mean, all have coding interviews. Um, the interesting thing, and it's also what I want, is when I started Dev Korea, I didn't want to work with that type of company, to be honest. And I want to like change things a little bit, little by little. In Korea, it's quite hard, but I try to work with companies that I know some of the people there. I visited, so I try to have companies that are a little bit, more flexible, do things that are more like globalized. So, but yeah, I mean, coding interview is something that is, in my opinion, not debatable. But there is something that is highly debatable. Is like the asking crazy questions, like reversing binary trees, things like that. That at the day-to-day job you never do. You've seen that meme where at the job interview there is like a very scary dinosaur, like the T-Rex, and then at the job it's like the inflatable thing that you know. So I'm against that, but a lot of companies they are shifting from just take-home project, and I know a lot of people that also, because of AI, back in the day when you did like some kind of coding interview, especially online, you couldn't use any tool. It was just you in front of the computer. But a lot more recruiters, CEOs, what they do is they let you use all the tools that you want. They let you use like Cursor or ChatGPT because why not? At the day-to-day job, you will use them, so it doesn't make sense to just yeah. So by little, but if you go to like very traditional company, which I don't recommend, then you will have like crazy executive. Yeah. Anything else? Yeah.
The question is like, where do we find companies that are looking for tech people?
Oh, I see. That's why you're my friend. That's a good play. It's written behind my back. Yeah, I mean, we have a website called devkorea.com. You can go there, find companies that that are working with us to hire people. That's our niche. Is we have companies that 90+% of the case don't require Korean language. That's what I want to fight for. So yeah, but not just being about us, just going to LinkedIn. You have also more and more job postings that are in English. The problem is you have to navigate all the job postings that are in Korean. There is no way to filter. Like I want just the job that you don't have to use Korean, which is why actually a lot of people come through us. But in tech, and if you are not in tech, you might know like a website like Cowork, and then you have there is also one. Which one? Yeah, I didn't want to say that name because I don't think it's good. But yeah, there is Click. There you go. Yeah, I don't think it comes from a good. It comes from a good feeling why you build this, but in my it's just the same it's the same mother website, which doesn't make sense. Like, but yeah,